Acknowledging that the other team in the past 2 games has had really amazing starts, what are some things your offense must do better to generate more offense?
Yeah, can't ignore the fact we've been shut down pretty much for 2 games in a row. We won't make excuses for it. There's a lot of variables to it, but the reality is we haven't been able to get it done. As far as adjustments go, you have guys that have been getting pretty good some pitches to hit, not a lot of them. There's not been a lot of pitches to feast on. I feel like the competition is there, the approach is there. We just got to be able to continue to, when guys are pitching at that level, and again, I don't want to minimize that we're not competing or we're not focusing right, but we got to figure out a way to be that much better. And it's a challenge right now for us, and we got the guys in that clubhouse that'll figure what that looks like. But it gets back to getting good pitches to hit and then just putting a good swing on it, not trying to do too much. I really don't feel. I turned to Ollie. It's like, you feel like guys are pressing a little bit. I really don't feel like that's the case. Guys are in a pretty good spot, but clearly a little frustrated about what's going on the last couple of days.
Thomas,
Mike, in the Eaton Wainwright at bat, what was the thinking just on letting Wainwright stay in and not going to a left-hander there?
Yeah,
since he's had some success.
Yeah, no, I understand that. What goes into it? The guy's got 11 strikeouts. It's still hitting the spots. I think he probably made 2 mistakes. The one to Taylor, cutter, got the ball up to Patch, put a swing on it. But then you looked at the Turner at bat, he bloops one in. Then you looked at the Eaton at bat, I confident he was going to be able to execute. And just watching, he was executing everything he was doing. So, you take your chances with a guy that's in the moment, in the competition, that's pitched as well as he has, that is still executing his pitches. And he more than deserved that opportunity, and he snuck one down the line on him.
Other questions? Ben and then Ryan. Ryan?
Coming into an off day tomorrow, workout day tomorrow, what's your approach with them coming off of 2 games like these two as opposed to if you'd have split or been up 2-0?
Yeah, clearly we're going to fight for every game regardless of where we are. You got to get to 4 somehow. Right now we got to get to 1. Obviously, being in a 2-0 spot is not ideal, but I still feel very strongly about our chances in this series for a lot of reasons I don't need to really get into. As far as what we can do different, we've done everything we'd wanted to do in this series, but a big one, and that's be able to put some at-bats together and score. Our pitching's been outstanding. Our defense has been as good as always. Our base runner has been very opportunistic. We just hadn't had many opportunities. We just need to continue to do what we're doing. Our preparation's good. Our feel for what's going on in the competition's really good. We just need to be able to string together more consistent at-bats, be able to pitch with play with the lead and go from there. But, we'll show up on Monday ready to go, I can tell you that.
Ben?
Mike, with what you've seen from Jose, do you see him as maybe a catalyst in this series moving forward to try to you've talked a lot about not wanting to have a knee-jerk reaction with the lineup, but his results on a lineup that's struggling are pretty impressive so far.
No, they are. You can't ignore the fact he's taking good at-bats. And I obviously hadn't had time to but there'd be some contemplation about how we move forward and how we look to, compete. And, and again, I'll look at it from the lens that we always look at it, who's taking the kind of at-bats, who's on time, the matchups, all those different things that we always factor into it. And, it's good to know that Jose's in a good place and taking good at-bats, and it can't be ignored.
In the second row.
Mike, in your opinion, what did you think Scherzer was doing to you guys today, combined with you guys struggling a little bit at the plate? What was it about Scherzer today that made you guys struggle so much?
He's a quality guy for a reason. He was commanding his pitches. And I hesitate to say that. I talked to Ollie about it on the bench a little bit because we will not make excuses for ourselves. I won't ever make excuses for our guys. But you also have to be realistic about what we were dealing with today. And we were dealing with a guy that had really good command of his pitches, throwing mid-90s with late movement, really dirty sliders, we know, and not the most ideal conditions to go up there and swing the bat. And again, that's just realistic. You know, we had to figure a way to Ben's question earlier. We got to figure out a way to be better. That's the bottom line. But I can't sit here and ignore the fact that, you know, their guys pretty darn elite. And, you know, you saw some elite pitching today. You saw playoff baseball. We haven't been able to figure out a way to get some runs, but you're seeing playoff baseball and how it looks. And that's usually, you know, tough pitching, timely hitting, good defense, and some other things. And we're doing everything, just not being able to scratch those runs across.
Do 2 more, Jennifer.
Mike, can you describe your level of appreciation as you watch Wainwright put up 0 after 0, and especially on the heels of his last start for you guys?
Yeah, you know, it's wow, what an effort, you know. I saw where he talked about the matchup, and it was like Christmas for him. You know, we just didn't put any runs under the tree for him, but he did his part to wake up bright-eyed and ready to go and enjoy the opportunity in the moment, which he knew he would, you know. But he was stellar, and that's not a word to use a lot, but he was absolutely stellar, in control of everything he was doing, and you know, just weren't able to support him. You know, I can't say enough about the job that Adam did today.
Finish up with Tom and then Benjamin.
Yeah. A lot of us hate baseball in the shadows. Today was the bright sun and maybe even the high sky make it particularly difficult, even by the standards that we've grown used to.
I don't think there's any question about that. You know, you know, you're talking about a lot of different variables that were pro pitching today, with 2 guys that, you know, were on their A games. And so, you know, there's a reason it was a crisp game, and there's a reason, you know, there was the 2 starters both had 11 strikeouts. They're very, very talented. They were able to execute their pitches, and they were in an environment today that lent itself to pitching.
We'll finish up with Benjamin.
Is this just a situation where on one hand you've got Jack Flaherty going Game 3, and that's something to be very optimistic about, but on the other hand, you got Jack-like starts the last 2 games, and you unfortunately weren't able to win either of them? Is that kind of a fair way to look at it?
I don't know. You know, we're happy to have Jack going. We're happy to go compete. You know, the fact of the matter is, it's a team that, you know, the word resilience been used internally, but it's really also been a moniker used externally, rightfully so, and you're going to see it in full force. I mean, this series is far from over, and we have a guy going that's one of the best guys and really the best guy in baseball. Second half undisputed, going for us on Monday, and we, like I said, I'm very optimistic still about this series.